going on, everybody? We got some patch notes for DC Dual Force. I do want to apologize if I sound a little bit funny. I got some mouth surgery the other day. I'm still recovering, but content waits for nobody, so we have to just try and do our best to chug forward. So we have some additions, some changes, some nerfs, some buffs that have occurred right before Open Beta goes live. Open Beta should be just going live as this video goes up. So first, we've got Green Lantern got buffed to +4 power as a leader. I don't think that was really what he was needing, but, you know, a buff for him is not bad. Similar change to Shazam, who went up to 6 power from 5 power and 6 lightning bolts instead of 5. I think he should be better. More lightning bolts is definitely what he wants to be doing. And a 6 power kind of puts him kind of on par with Superman level of powers, so it should make him quite a bit better. I think the bigger change is the more lightning bolts. That's really what you're wanting from your Shazam. The big nerfs are to Batarang. Batarang went from 2 damage to 1 damage and upgraded from 4 to 3. Some of the major breakpoints in DC Dual Force are 2 and 4. So you're kind of dropping right up below those major breakpoints. It also means that Batman will kind of need to use his attack in addition to the gadget to take some things out. So I think that should slow Batman down quite a bit. I think we should be able to see something along those lines. Then Batmobile gives a friendly leader Hunter evade and +3 attack. If they're a tactics leader, give them +1 attack this turn for each gadget you've played this game, where it was previously +2 power for each gadget you've played this game. So it kind of just makes Batmobile better in a vacuum, and it also makes it not this giant swing. So your two options before, old Batmobile was either you played enough gadgets where it's a huge swing and you might win the game, or you didn't play enough gadgets and it wasn't that good. Now it's kind of just generically good and can get a bit better for each gadget you've played this game. So I think it's a fair, maybe we'll call it a side grade instead of a buff or a nerf. Madame Xanadu went from a 4/5 that had to stay alive for a whole turn to a 3/4 that gets immediate value. Anytime you're getting immediate value, I think that's a buff for the card. So it's a pretty good change, and magical spells are pretty solid in general. So I think that's a good buff for Madame Xanadu. Supersonic Sucker Punch gets 1 additional power, so it was +4 power, and you get invincible this turn. I don't think I really use that card that much, so I don't have much of an opinion on that one. Double Time is going to make the Flurry modification permanent. That is another very good buff. Then we have Utility Belt. Seek any gadget, draw a card. They're just adding draw a card utility, which makes Utility Belt quite a bit better, I would say. The ability to cycle and look for a gadget you need is probably pretty good. And I think it was from, you got to pick any gadget before, now you have to pick from 3. So I guess it's a slight nerf there. Punch and Julie, this is more of a, if they get bounced back to hand. They were no cost, now they're bronze, but the card itself that summons them is still bronze, so it should be no change in general. Atrocitus is going up 1 health. Miss Martian down 1 attack. Booster Gold down 1 health. And Cheetah down 1 attack. Didn't really see a lot of these cards, so I don't really have an opinion on those, but it seems like pretty slight modifications either way. Chassalon, I don't know if that's the right way to say that, was a 2/2 that generated a bronze the first time you played a Green Lantern. Now it's a 2/3. I should make that a bit more playable. I don't know what Solstice is. Let me check up Solstice. First time you deal non-attack damage on your turn, draw a card. I don't think I've ever messed around with that card yet. But it was a 4/3, so it got buffed +1/+1. Maybe that's why I never messed around with it, because it's pretty weak for a silver. I should be a bit better. Pedro Pena is a 1/4 now. Is that the guy that gets +2 attack when you play in action? Yeah. So he's going from a 1/3 to a 1/4. That is actually a pretty big buff for him. That should make it a lot easier for him to survive. Early on, we'll probably just take certain leaders to take him out. Freddie Freeman is the guy that shuffles 2 actions into your deck when you play one. He's getting a +1/+1. It seems like an okay buff. It's really trying to get your lightning bolts to snowball as Shazam. Kong Keenan was only a recruit as a trigger. Now it is any character with shield. Seems pretty decent. I don't know what his stat line was. Am I spelling something wrong? There we go. He was a 7-1 with Aura, and that should be a lot easier to trigger him. That's kind of what a card like that needs, especially with 1 health. It's good that he dodges the first action played on him, but with 1 health, you really need that shield or else that card is bad. Then we had some Sea Creatures change, which is a net nerf to Aquaman. The big change is the Seahorse, which was kind of, if you rolled this as Aquaman, you just kind of won the game. So now they've slowed that down. It went from a 0-4 to a 0-3, which will be a 1-4 with Aquaman's power. And Aquaman has +2 invincible on your turn, whereas he used to be +3 power and invincible all the time. So that's a pretty good change there. The whale went down 1 attack, and the shark went down 1 health, and the squid went down 1 health. So that's pretty good. Aquaman just, if he high rolled the sea creature, the game was basically over right off the bat. So that's a pretty good change there. Then we've got some general changes. Leader packs have gone back to their actual levels. I think they were inflated to around 20% for the closed beta, I guess, to test that out. So now they are going back to their original levels. I don't know what those levels are, but it makes sense. They were way too common before. Anything else of note here? I don't think there's really that many things that, besides obviously bug fixes, I don't think there's anything that major there. And then some gameplay changes. Necromancy can target cards that were recently KO'd. I haven't really played with Necromancy that much. Fix an issue where several repeating damage cards could hit KO'd enemies. That was something that I always noticed with like shoot randomly. You could hit, like if a card had two health and you had firepower +1, you could hit it with 2 and then hit it with another 2. So it was pretty rough, so I'm glad that they made that change. What else do we got here? I haven't seen too much more from that, but this is a really nice issue to have fixed, because I play around with shoot randomly, things like that quite a bit, or like Joker's leader ability. So overall, this is a pretty solid first patch. I assume we'll see some pretty regular changes now that we're entering open beta. Super excited to see what's coming soon. Keep an eye on the channel because we'll have a whole bunch of open beta content starting today as we buy some packs and all that jazz. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.